Hello everyone, I'm Kenorah again, wanting to just very quickly have that photo sensitivity warning. There will be a little bit at the end of the game where there's a bit of a concern, so we'll bring that up as we get to it. Introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Ricky. I'm a senior producer at Playside Studios and I worked on Kenorah. Shout out to Playside, some of the guys in the crowd, so thanks for coming.
He's looking real nervous down there. He's not even doing anything.
They know how hard this is going to get, so we're going to see some cool running around.
For any of you who have played the demo here at PAX, this is the build setup that I'm going to be using. There's the Conflictors, Arclight, which recently got nerfed.
Don't blame us.
Divination, Demigod, and Carnelian Memory. All right, so I'm going to do one playthrough of each of the levels.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
So this is Kill Night. This game came out 10 days ago?
Yeah, last week on Thursday.
We've got a demo over here at PAX. Well, you've got a demo over here at PAX.
Yeah, it's been a great 2 days. Lots of people have been coming up to the booth. It's awesome to see people's super positive response about the game. You know, we thought it might be one of those ones that is it too hard? But the answer is no. Well, not for everyone. Lots of players have been doing some really awesome runs. And yeah, it's been awesome to see people just really love the game and try to get up to the higher levels. So are we playing at the hardest difficulty today?
So the second highest difficulty. There was actually a bit of an interesting discovery. I did notice that the harder difficulties did make enemies spawn in and move faster towards you. It does make you take more damage, which is a little scarier, and I'm missing some triggers that I would really rather not miss. But yeah, so it is a little bit faster to go on higher difficulties, which is interesting because some games you kind of want to go lower difficulties or higher difficulties for different reasons.
Yeah, it's a super interesting one. Like, as you said, you would think on harder difficulties if enemies are spawning in faster, moving faster, it would make it easier to get a faster time. But from what we can see on the leaderboard so far, there's a lot of different difficulties that populate the top 100 scores on the leaderboard for each player. And so it's really like one of those games where players get to determine what's easier for them and how they can actually get better scores.
Yeah. It's like, especially like when you're going through it also depends on the weapons that you're using. It's like different weapons are going to be better going slower a bit faster.
Yeah, totally. There's actually interesting tech here because I don't think we've seen the Conflictors much in some of the higher scores as well. And so I wonder if it's better to do faster runs with Conflictors. I just don't know if we have the data yet to actually nail that in, because I don't think there's a better heavily developed.
Can one of you turn my game down on the tablet? I can barely hear the two of you. Yeah, that one. Oh, excellent.
Is that good?
Yeah. What was the question?
In terms of Conflictors, it's a really cool choice. What about them makes you like them as far as...
Yeah, so I was kind of going back and forth. You're going to have to help me with the name of it. The fourth pistols.
Yeah, the Exhausters.
The Exhausters, yeah. They were a good contender of mine for a while. But I found that the kind of explosive AoE aspect of the Conflictors really helped with kind of general room clear. And so when I am
so it would have been perfect if you actually got that right there to show off what you're talking about. So it's that red lightning and stuff happening.
So that's the heavy weapon. So the Conflictors are the pistols that I'm shooting. So the choices that I was kind of going between were they kind of shoot in like a three crossbow kind of arc, and then have we haven't really talked about the triggers. Whenever you run out of ammo, you can hit certain buttons to kind of quick reload in certain different ways.
Yeah, we call these the active reload, active trigger.
Active triggers.
And so there's one for each type of weapon. So when that bar comes up, it's an active reload bar. You can press right trigger, which will fire the pistols, and you'll do the alternate shot of that. So it's a pistol over here. So, or you could do what we just saw there, which is where you press melee. So in this case, square on the controller, and that will do a special sword attack. So there you go. That was actually a parry at the same time, which is really, really cool. That's a tech how you can get rid of the pursuer enemies really quickly.
It's like, it reminds me a lot of Season 4. Yeah. It's like the active reload, you basically get a better weapon and you have fun.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's definitely where that inspiration really comes from. It's a cool mechanic, and I think it's a newish thing for twin-stick shooters to have that. It's an interesting mashup between the two types of guns there. But it's definitely one of those things that you need to master in Kenorah and learn when it's best to do each of the different types. There's actually a third type, and so if you press up, like we just saw there, if you press right bumper, or L1, or R1 I should say, you can actually suck in all the red jumps, and that will help you increase your wrath meter, which is at the bottom there. It's the big purple bar. And so when that is full, you can shoot a wrath burst, which is different per heavy weapon. So there's a lot of choices you need to make when it comes to picking your loadout for a run. Do you like the wrath burst of a weapon? Is that what you want to use? Is it actually good for later on? Some of them work better in different layers. Some layers are more enclosed than others. And so I think Solitude is definitely one of the more open layers. So with some weapons that might bounce off walls, maybe it's not the best choice yet, but maybe it is if that's your playstyle. I don't think we've seen, as I said before, a necessary meta develop across the game.
Yeah, it's like, I think Kenorah actually really likes this move north, which, as you said, you've actually just nerfed recently.
Yes, slightly, it's not.
Yeah.
But perhaps a meaningful amount in this case, to be honest. But it was definitely a very, very good heavy weapon, mainly because of how long the Wrath Blast ball lasts for.
Yeah.
So what that does, so anything purple in this game, it's a really good color to know about. It basically means it's either a Wrath-related weapon, or if enemies are glowing purple, it means they can hit with Wrath, and they are in a state we call inflict them. They take increased damage, and if they die in that state, they'll actually drop green gems. Those are the health gems that are actually done.
I'm gonna quickly. I noticed I forgot to set. Where is it? Other? Oh god, is it display?
And so when you're actually doing the run, this is actually important to actually go faster. Doing it at that specific point.
Yeah, right. Yes, that's a secret tech. Going to the menu and changing your options. Yeah.
I wanted to turn on the in-game timer, especially just kind of my own general sense of when things are. I've kind of mapped out in my head a little bit as to when roughly time-wise they are, physical time-wise. So when I noticed that the timer wasn't on, I realized I wasn't able to kind of gauge where things were a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we don't have that on by default, but it's definitely something put in there to help with speedruns as well, so you can have that sort of mental note. One of the things about this game is that all the spawns are the enemies always spawn in the same quantity, no matter what. They may spawn in slightly different areas based on where you're standing. You don't want enemies just to immediately attack you, because it would be unfair and not something that we think players would enjoy. But yeah, you always know what's coming. So if you're able to actually get rid of certain spawns a lot earlier on than what we would expect, more spawns will happen. You're always being attacked. It's not easy. Not easy.
And hence why going over high difficulties is faster. Because things move faster, you build faster, so there's more faster.
Yeah, totally. But it also means that you're more likely to get hit.
Yes,
that's
sure. Which we're definitely not drawing attention to.
No, absolutely not.
Quite low health, which you can see in the top left.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we can always get that back, so I think this is a good opportunity to use a Wrath Blast there, and you can see here all these health gems dropping. So how they work is obviously they heal you, but if you're actually on full health, getting those gives you more score, which is one of those things where to get the highest score in this game, which is ostensibly what the goal is because it is an arcade game, is it means that you have to be perfect with your run, but also maximize the use of your Wrath Blast so you can get that. Get more health gems and therefore get more score because you're on full health. So here we can see the first time you will encounter a Zerker in the run. That's actually the Zerker 1. You have 2 more varieties which you'll be seeing throughout this speedrun. I guess it's an interesting point as well. So with it being a score-based game, speed is not the only thing that this game can offer. So obviously players will be looking to maximize score. But one of the other things that we look for is carnage score. And so this is, you can accrue carnage score in a couple of different ways. So if you're able to burst the purple carapace on some enemies, we see them a lot on spikers, either spiker 1s, spiker 2s. You see them with the sort of purple carapace. That will give you carnage score. If you defeat enemies in hyperdrive state, which is a state we haven't seen yet, but we might see later if it's a good strat.
I found it was often because it kind of slows down time, which would be good for the in-game time, but it often kind of makes things slower overall,
That's true,
RPA. So when I've been focusing on this run in particular, it's been a bit of an interesting thing to consider, but end up not going for.
Yeah, so it may not be good for overall time, but it's good for carnage score because every kill you get in that state gives you more carnage score. And then the other way as well is to kill enemies with your sword ultimate too, which is what we saw at the very end of the last layer, which is a really cool thing. Nice.
And what I like about this piece of armor as well in particular is when enemies are inflicted with Afflictum, you can dash into them to kind of activate a wrath burst in them. A little bit more like, even if they don't have like the purple shell we were talking about earlier, I can try to show that off when I can. Who wants to talk about kill power as well? Well, I just kind of...
Yeah, so kill power is the bar we see at the very top of the screen. That's the secondary interaction that we have with the blood gems that drop. So if you were to press the right button L1, you'd be able to suck those gems in and increase your wrath meter, and so you can use it. You're basically converting those gems into wrath power. But the wrath meter at the top there, the kill power, sorry, that can go from 0 to level 5, and you get that by walking over the red gems. So it's an interesting trade-off because you need to think, do I want to increase my pistol damage and my move speed, which is obviously very important, especially to dodge and weave between like all these crazy missions.
It's also your main weapon that you're hitting things.
Well, exactly, yeah. So you're definitely doing the most damage over the course of a run. So you want to get that up earlier, and also can you maintain it because it's always slowly going down.
Especially with the demigod, it goes down faster too.
Yeah, exactly. So all the different armors and weapons and such have like different numbers when it comes to interacting with these various systems. And so you're always like trading that off. For me, I really like to increase my wrath meter at all times. Yeah. Because it means you can like clear the matches as much as possible. Nice one. So and you can see here the carnage score going up for enacting that sword ultimate.
And the sword ultimate too is very interesting. It does kind of leave you in that state where things are kind of passively getting shot for a bit, but it also, in the epicenter of where you spam it does seem to like one-shot pretty much almost close to anything I've noticed. So it can be really good for some of the really heavy tanky enemies to just keep popping up with one of those.
Yeah, it's really like, when do you want to use it? Sometimes it's good to find a moment where you're going to maximize your carnage score by activating it, but those moments may not be the moments where you're under like stress. So you can also be used in a way as a get out and jump free card. And recently, actually, we've been playing a lot of the game that was released in the studio with like all the designers. Nice one.
So I will not be doing the speed tech of accessing the settings menu this time. Maybe I'll...
Leaderboards this time.
Yeah, leaderboards, there we go. I keep expecting it to be on the level select every time.
Yeah.
Alright, here's the third level, Viscera, which,
I find this to be very hard. So this is usually like a bit of a wall that players hit because we're really asking you to use all the mechanics in the game. It's really cool though. I like the sort of meets world vibes that we've got going on with that.
Yeah, I missed a couple of those.
So these guys are phasers. They're notoriously quite difficult. Not phasers. Gas, I should say. We've been changing names a little bit late.
So basically, throughout this run, you actually see Kenorah say at certain points that he wants to use different weapons. So first there, to get a bit of health back, it's like waves coming in, he'll throw it down. It's got a really good flow to it, especially once you start to play it a few times. You start to know when things are going to come in, how much you need to hit something for or to die, and basically what sort of special abilities you need to use to finish off a big bad thing that's been causing you trouble.
Yeah, 100%. It's you said flow before, and it's sort of one of those things we really want players to experience while playing this game. And I mean, you definitely do. It's the flow state about like, all right, I'm completely like zoned in here. I really need to concentrate because if I don't, I won't be able to 1, survive, and 2, maximize score, which is important. We can see here. This is the Crystal Critter. It's almost like a loot goblin that you might find in Diablo or something, and depending on how you kill it, it will drop different types of rewards. So it's, obviously here at this point in the run where it's getting quite hectic, and so you can choose what you want to get from it based on how you kill it, which is pretty interesting. However, it runs away from you, and it will despawn after some time, so you don't have all the time in the world to kill it.
I mean, if I was in, I would run away too.
I mean, exactly.
it's a person running at you with two pistols shooting you. It's terrifying.
Arms to the teeth, definitely. This one is a very interesting arena to be in. We've seen a lot of people, they stay up here. I reckon that's actually maybe one of the harder zones.
Yeah.
Personally, I've seen someone just stay down below. And it's slightly easier, although it feels like you're in the middle of everything. And you don't have a protective barrier of like the little square at the top. But it's a little bit misleading. It's one of those things where like the first time you're there, it really catches you off guard. Yeah. This one here is also a very, very tight arena.
And something that you'll notice especially, lasers are scary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially on 9 difficulty, they take a good about like 40% of my health if I get hit.
Yep.
So especially on the last level, where there's a whole laser section, and then the laser section gets worse.
The last level is evil. Those laser patterns are so crazy. I remember first seeing that when it was in development, and I like literally couldn't believe what I was seeing there. It's super scary the first time you encounter it.
It's basically just your team is one full evil like,
oh, yeah.
well, it's the last level.
100%. That's the designers to a T, so... yeah, we really wanted to give players a chance. Like, you've come this far, and to even get to Land 5, like, you really need to know what you're doing. You definitely put a few hours in the game at the very least, and we wanted to make sure that it was sort of a really nice send-off. Like, are you a master of all the different bits of the arsenal we've given you throughout the game? Can you actually do this? Alright, this is actually a Hyven. This is a new enemy. They spawn Zekas, which are those like screaming skulls that like explode when they fly towards you. Very good moment to use the sword on. Look at that, predicting the spawn as well. Very nice.
Yeah, that's definitely been one of those. Like, I saved the sword burst for that exact psycho, and then the rough burst for that. What are the ram called again?
Which one?
The ones that ram.
Oh, the Zekas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. You have to do this twice. There you go. Yeah. So that was the first two easy. And they get even crazier. There's another one. The third tier of that enemy. I really like how you're using the sword active trigger to get back all your heavy weapon in one go. It's definitely a high tier strat. It's what we hope players would be doing to maximize time in the game.
So there's that. I expected it to kill him, but there's that demigod kind of dash through Wrath Burst as well. That Wrath Explosion, what's it called again?
The Wrath Burst, yeah.
Yeah. Does quite a bit of damage, especially in like an area around it too, which is very nice.
Yeah.
But doesn't always get the kill. Something about the Hyvens I've been meaning to ask. It seems like the longer that they're alive, do they passively take damage from the blood gems that they absorb?
No, they absorb them as passively, and then that takes that resource away from you. And you know, the Wrath gems are super important to make sure that you're constantly on top of the resources. And so yeah, getting that denied is super feels bad, and can really set you back for a bit.
Because I noticed there are a few times with like the Hyvens, I will leave them alone for a while, and then the first time I touch them, they just kind of pop.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But could be just passive damage happening.
Alright, here's the omelette. So, yeah, I remember as well when we first put this into the game, and I was like, what are we doing? This is some crazy stuff. So they actually empower all the enemies around you. You can see they're moving really fast now, and it's getting really, really hectic. Nice one.
So you probably heard it decide that this big what you want to kill off quickly, because they're actually easy.
Oh, 100%.
If they set up, you're basically done.
Yeah, totally. The issue though is that you're getting harassed so much that focusing on it is a really hard thing to do. It's crazy.
That one in particular, I intentionally keep alive up until a certain point, because, like we said, it empowers the enemies. Which, when the enemies are empowered, they move and they spawn faster.
Right, there you go.
So I'm intentionally keeping that one alive, so I can have the enemies around it spawn and just kind of move passively faster towards me. And then it's when the two, I don't know the name of the enemies, the two like kind of starting elites, like the kind of bigger guys. Is that?
Oh, the Wraith 2s? They have like the sort of like dark red spike? Yeah.
When those two spawn, I know it's roughly time to kill it, kill the obelisk, because that's, I have noticed a few times where if you just leave the obelisks alive for too long, they will all the enemies from them will spawn, and then you have like to spawn the next wave in, you have to kill the obelisk.
Yeah.
So that's roughly when like my tell to when I can kill the obelisks is when those two spawn in, and then I can start killing the elites and the obelisk kind of in one go, because that's capitalized the most of that increased enemy speed.
Yeah, awesome tech.
There's a couple instances where I would love to do that more in later levels, but not quite.
It ain't easy to be consistent with. I've also noticed that you don't tend to feed the Wrath form with extra ammo.
I use when I would run the exhausters.
Yep.
Because it was very easy, especially with its active reload.
Yep.
It would fill it up quite quickly. But ever since I've been kind of switching to the conflictors, it has been progressively more and more difficult. Because it shoots slower as well.
Yep.
So it, as benefit as it could be, it is unfortunately like just not quite as benefit as. There we go. Turn level down.
Awesome. That was great. I normally die at that obelisk at the end, so awesome job.
And so basically those first 3 levels are pretty much easy.
Well, easy to like complete with taking some hits and talking. And these next couple levels, especially later on Echelon, this one,
you gotta really concentrate.
Do we have time for a quick couple before you get too into it with this next level? Awesome, excellent. So we have $40 from Kenorah's guild buddies, who say, "Good luck, buddy." That'll be Kenorah's Final Fantasy 14 family there. And we have $200 from Sio Rules Kenorah Rocks, who says $200 per game on Cancer, put it towards the Titanfall incentive. Kenorah Rules Sio Rocks. And they flipped it at the end there. And that has gone towards the Titanfall incentive, and that means it's been met. So that Titanfall incentive, there'll be some bonus content there with the Loch Ness Monster sort of mini quest thing. And just as a heads up as well, AusSpeedruns is participating in the Penny Arcade Pin Quest. So if you would like one of these lovely Tiger Beetle pins, it's a Speedle pin that's in person over at the runner desk over there. And you can find more on the Penny Arcade website as well. And back to you, Kenorah.
So especially with the third variation of the spinners there, I kind of like to time my reload in particular for that one, because especially with this weapon, it kind of swings a little slowly, but when it has a parry moment that you might have seen, might have been a glimpse, I found it very difficult with this weapon in particular to hit that parry window. Like it would just constantly, I would get hit trying to hit it, basically, because the weapon's just a tad slow, but I would time my active reload so that I can get the spin from it and get the parry at the same time, being able to effectively take out the enemy while also keeping myself completely safe. Fun little bit of tech.
Yeah, nice tech there. I also noticed before that you parried away the Seekers as they came towards you, which is really, really cool. You don't often see that. That's also a hard one to time, but yeah,
being able to hit away the Seekers with the melee weapon is very nice.
I find this bit in the bud.
I mean, for me, we did holding it. It's like first level, it's like first 5 bugs that's coming, like, oh, nice run.
Here we go. So this is one of the weak point enemies there. That's easy as that. Make it look too easy, Kenorah.
Yeah, a little bit. That one's my favorite because it, like, I kind of time my active reloads, and that's why I like this particular sword in particular, because while it is a little slower than some of the other swords, it has a very safe active reload, very large,
and iframes too.
Iframes.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Nice. So that was the Pursuer 3. That was what I was warning about before. Here we go.
And there was a Hyven in the back corner here that died, and then a bunch of Seekers that I did not know were coming came to get me. And they,
like when this game starts to go wrong, it's relentless. It just goes after you, and it takes a lot of skill to actually just recover.
Yeah, totally.
Fantastic to see.
It's really about managing the resources we give you. So you've got a few, as we mentioned before, you've got the sword surge here, you've got your wrath meter, you've got your kill power, you've got the gems, the health gems, you've got all this type of stuff. And where it gets really dicey is when you run out of everything and all you have left is the pistols. Because the only way to get back out of it is to kill enough enemies with your pistol to get the blood gems, to then wrath burst in a good location. So you really need to make sure that you're buckled in for that, because otherwise you're going to dead run. Nice. That was one of those, but there's another one.
Of course.
Dawson too.
Well, it's not going to be fun if it's just one.
Nah, yeah, that's exactly right. That was what we said to each other. It used to be one.
Listen, what if we put them on the other sides of the islands? So it's harder for them to get to.
So there's that, come on. Please shoot, thank you. There was that demigod dash in full effect there. I was able to dash into the obelisk that I had inflicted on it, and was able to kind of apply AoE bursts onto the enemies around it and be able to kill them as well. Yeah, that was very, very nice there. This game is very reactive, as we were kind of saying as well. Like it's very hard to do the same thing every time, and kind of, especially from a speed sense, and even just a completion sense, it's really about utilizing the tools that you're given to you, and in a way that will most effectively get you out of the life.
Yeah, totally. It's really cool you say that. Okay, that's definitely one of the big sort of the intention behind the design here. This area is really interesting. It's quite unique because it feels like everything slows down given to how slow the lasers turn. And so you've just been doing, you know, like a 5-minute run at this point, and it's all fast-paced, and all of a sudden it just slows. I die there a lot. Yeah. It's a super common place for
and especially with the I think it's these guys 3 that like the
spike of 3.
Yeah, the spike of 3 that spawns. Like I can usually save a wrath burst there, and that really helps kind of clean that section up. That was a nice shot.
Nice. Yeah.
Definitely.
No, the laser guidance system that it uses also helps me to it.
Yeah, right. I hadn't actually considered that. That's a really good thing.
This is where the end view is going to go.
You reckon this is the end?
Oh, no.
There's definitely more.
Yeah, this level's about 9 minutes long. Or 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is the real endurance test. In fact, this is the endurance test as far as layers go individually. But if you're able to beat the game, which I'm sure we're going to be seeing today, you unlock a master mode. We call it Sever mode. And you have to play all 5 layers back to back with different spawns and like different enemy patterns. And, you know, you're seeing late game enemies, early game, and all that type of stuff. No breaks. And that's like the true, end game version of this. It's very difficult.
Section I hate the most. This is easily one of my least favorite sections.
Is the height 2?
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what I was worried about. Okay. I should have been more safe. I was trying to get the health crystals that were there. And yeah, a death that late, especially with no checkpoints, does mean we kind of are here again, and we have to kind of go through it a bit. So if there's any more donations while we kind of get back to where we were.
Yeah, absolutely. Send me in. So no new donations as of yet, but just as a heads up, we are AusSpeedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. This event we're doing Game on Cancer, which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research. So if you'd like to donate, we do have those donations available on the website or in person at the runner management desk over to my left. And you can put those towards some incentives that we have for a bit of extra bang for your buck. So for example, we have Deus Ex. You can save or kill Jop, or save or kill Anna Nevere. I don't believe I'm saying that correctly. But the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past also has file name choice, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses will also let you bid for the house choice and the main character's name. So if you do donate, make sure to put a little thingy in the message letting me know where you want that one to go to, and I'll make sure that it gets to its desired location. Would you like me to read any more, or are you?
If you would like.
I would love to. So I'm not sorry. Speaking of donations, actually, we do have for the Twitch stream, any subs, bits, etc. will all also be going. So if you have like a Prime sub or something along those lines, all that good stuff goes towards the donation total as well. And any support is very much appreciated. And I think that would be it for me for now, so I'll let Kenorah carry on decimating this game. Back to you.
Oh, that was a very late parry. I'm surprised I got that one.
Oh, yeah. Although it's one of those things you say, and then there you go.
It's gone, and my brain is not reaching out.
And yeah, the Arclight special Wrath Burst is very handy. It has that slow-moving orb that you can shoot to kind of get into fire in like a projectile all around it. But it also is just kind of passively nice to have rolling around, zapping things, inflicting them as you might need.
Yeah, I think it definitely shows off its worth later on in the game because you get so many like more packed screens, and it's just like the fact that it sticks around for so long means you can put so many enemies into inflicted state. As you can see here, you're just getting heaps and heaps and heaps of the health gems there, and it can really pull you back from the hit. You're almost up to full health after just that one burst.
I thought I had a dash there. Yeah, I thought I had a dash there. That's rough. I might use this here. I wouldn't have wanted to, but that's kind of what like.
I think that's a good choice. I wonder as the game continues to grow and all the players start to like work out the intricacies of it, if we will start to see runs where it's very mapped out.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you can definitely like influence scoring, but based upon where you're standing.
What? Ooh. Very unlucky.
I think I broke the iframes of my dash with the sword attack, which. Okay, well,
we're back again.
Yeah.
This
is. But it's like it feels nice and easy right now. It's like that's the thing. It's like when you do die, you go back to the zone. You're like,
yeah. Well, that Hydra spawned in a really weird position. Usually, it's one in the corner.
Yeah, the game like forces you often into a place where you don't want to be, and so really like making sure you can maintain that like the exact point of safety is super important.
So you've been showing this off basically the last 2 days. Like, what's the best thing that you've heard someone say about the game?
Well, we had, just before it actually went up, I was talking to a nice guy, and he was talking about how his friends got him onto the game, and how he was quite gushing over it. It was really cool just to see that level of passion in something that's been created quite recently, and also something that the team has put so much effort into to make sure it's super polished, but also for us, it was the first game that we've been able to put on our console, which is a huge deal because reaching more players is something that I think we all want to do as game devs, but it's not always feasible given the, I guess, technical difficulty of it, and as well as the time it takes to do that porting. So that was a really cool chat to have, and it was really awesome. He was really into twin stick shooters as well, so a little bit about what was going on. And this isn't. This also follows a lot of other games that were inspired by like Hyper Demon and Assault Android Cactus, which were also made in Australia. And we feel that this is a really worthwhile entry into those types of high skill games that really have a lot of mechanical depth to them. And so, that was a good chat to have. But otherwise, today we saw a really young kid come up and he just smashed the game, beat the first layer Solitude on like his third or fourth go. And that was awesome. We gave him pins, so we had some Kill Knight pins. And in fact, if you're here at PAX tomorrow, you can check us out at the Playside booth. And we'll be giving out Kill Knight pins to anyone who can beat the first layer. And so it won't be set to the hardest difficulty like what we're seeing out, or the second hardest in this case. It'll be set to the easiest, so it's a bit more of a challenge that is surmountable. But you can grab that. It was just cool to see, and he was like, "I'm gonna get the game on Steam when I get home," and it was really, really awesome. So reaching all people of all ages was super cool. That was another thing.
It's like when I played the game, it's like the one thing that I instantly realized, like it just feels smooth. It feels like when you make a mistake, you've made the mistake. It's not the game. So it's all actually very well polished.
Yeah, we want it to be fair, and I think like when it comes to smoothness, like two big things, like the design being very watertight is massive. So shout out designers, and also like getting it to feel smooth is very much an engineering challenge. Shout out Sam Cole in the audience, good job, mate. Along with the other engineers, it's one of those things that doesn't come easy. You can put the mechanics in, but then making them feel good is an entire other thing. So but Yeah, I think also what gives the game a lot of its like oomph, like right now, like you're feeling the pressure. Sound design is huge, and I hope that it's coming out of good speakers because that's one of those things that it's really quite odd actually. The way it sounds like really unique. It has its like own flavor that adds like the alien feeling of the game. But yeah, also the visuals too. So shout out to this team for making such a cool bit of art.
It's like especially when you start to take damage, like you might notice like it just starts to go.
Yeah, oh God, everything's pressure, and
like,
the music's going crazy, and all the sounds, the creatures are like, you know, borderline incomprehensible. Like, what's happening? And then a new creature comes on the screen. Yeah, it's quite crazy. Yeah, we noticed that during playtesting too. So like watching players play it for the first time is a really cool thing. And today, seeing that like just en masse, like thousands of people rocking up and going through it, yeah, you get like lots of different reactions. Very sweaty controllers. That was like the common element when everyone's first play is the controller will get sweaty.
Yeah.
There's a reason I have controller grips to help with the sweat.
Yeah.
You gotta also worry about the obelisks because the obelisks have their own projectiles as well, as if they needed more to them to just make your life fun. The most fun, the best fun.
What's your favorite enemy to kill?
Probably the strikers, the simple enemies.
The spiders. The spider-looking dudes.
Yeah, the spiders 3. Just because it's like oftentimes when they spawn in is like right at a time of an active reload, and being able to get them with the sword reload is just very satisfying in its own right. For me personally,
it's like for me, it's actually the one in front of me because I'm like, oh, I finally killed him.
I'm surviving. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm still here.
I really like killing the turrets. They're the Beyblade-esque enemies, especially number 2, because even though there's a worse version of them in number 3, the number 2s, the way they spawn and where they spawn is very is done with like malicious intent because they always will be sending up those spinning orbs.
It takes a lot to admit that.
Oh, no, I mean, I'll be out here on record saying that. Like, it's very much done on purpose to make it as hard as possible. It's they're supposed to be very annoying,
And with their like kind of trifold attack as well, like you don't take care of them fast enough, and they just start really just.
Yeah, they kill on sight. Whereas, funnily enough, the Turek 3s, even though they're a higher tier enemy, I actually don't worry about them as much as I would for the number 2s. Nice. Another reason why this sword is a really good one, I think, to be honest, probably universally this sword is most people's favorites, from what I've seen at least. Although I don't know if that means it's the best, it's just that it seems to be the favorite, given that it can really kill those ghasts quite quickly. And not all the swords can do that. So we have varying levels of damage. We have another one, Swift Shade, which is a bit more like a katana type sword. So it has a 3-attack combo, but it does less damage overall. However, it can deflect bullets.
Yeah,
which is it absorbs bullets. Sorry, yes. And so that's a pretty interesting weapon that we get to see people use to its full potential. But we've seen some runs by the designers, who've obviously created all the weapons you see, all the enemy levels and everything like that, where they know where it's best used. I haven't seen that yet outside of the dev team, so it'd be really cool to see what people find out in the wild themselves. Here we go.
And of course, like with this run, it's like we've got a very predefined setup. Basically, we've gone through the game, we've unlocked everything, and we're using what we enjoyed the most. But if this was just like a true 80% from the start, you'll just be having the starting initial weapons, which would take quite a bit longer, I would assume.
Well, it's interesting because some of the initial weapons are quite good, and in like an isolated environment, I probably would be using more of them. But especially in this marathon sense, like the safety that Arclight provides with the extra healing as well is very, very nice. Whereas I might not use it necessarily for its damage, like as much as say the initial weapon, which is like a shotgun blast. That can really kill enemies very quickly if you're efficient with it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, sometimes in games what you'll see is as you unlock weapons, like almost as a rule. Nice job.
It's just like it spawns in it immediately, counter basically, and it's just not even a threat anymore.
Yeah, that's sick. So what you'll see in games is sometimes, as a rule, the higher tier weapon you go, like later the unlocks, the better the weapon.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily the case in Kenorah. What we've really tried to do is make sure that all the weapons have a purpose.
Yeah.
Whether it be personal preference, so providing you with just a different playstyle, or for a purpose in the run where it's like, maybe this layer actually is slightly easier, probably, if you use this type of layer. And so, what? Ooh. Layer 4. It's quite hard.
That was a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
Was I at full health?
Yeah. I think you got hit there by all those projectiles.
I didn't even think it. Yeah.
Bad timing, I think, on that one.
Oh boy.
Back at it again.
Tech, I'm sorry. We are definitely going to go over rest of it, and I apologize.
That is
well, the good thing is we get to see more kill now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thanks, Kenorah.
I'm doing it for the crowd. Woo. Who's here playing Kill Night at PAX? Anyone in the crowd?
Anyone in the crowd?
Who wants to play
we got
Kill
some
Night?
guys. Nice.
That's actually good. Yeah, who wants to play Kill Night now?
Yeah, that's like
Yeah, we
hands
got
up,
some
count
hands.
goes.
Yeah, shout out that guy over there. Nice one. We can. Tomorrow we'll be at PAX all day, as we were today. We've got the Kill Night booth at the Playside general stand, so there's a couple of games going on there. I believe there are 8 PCs. So, and they were chockers all of today. So going around, telling people how to play the game was definitely very fun. It did get quite repetitive though. It's like you move with your left stick and you aim with your right. But yeah, it was a big, really fun time. A lot of players playing for the first time. We actually had a few that had already bought the game, came, aced it, got a pin. And it's like, well, you can do that too. And I mean, so if you want to practice tonight, you're pretty much going to get guaranteed free pin tomorrow. So I would recommend.
It's like, have you played this game before? No, definitely not.
Why are you perfectly executing every single active trigger without breaking a sweat? And the controller isn't even sweaty.
It's just got ice in my veins.
Yeah, totally.
It's oh boy. It's that bit with the two the one that killed me earlier.
The Ghast?
The Ghast.
Yeah, the Ghast 3,
It's what I usually like to try to save my my sword burst for, or the sword
surge. Yeah.
Sword surge. But in the section that I died the first time, I wanted to try to get through that as fast as I could, so I opted for there, but then it bit me in the butt. But that's what this game can do to you sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to predict.
Especially predicting and trying to think about the next course of action, like as early as you can. When you started to like briefly recognize, remember and when and where things will spawn and be, trying to optimize that is tricky.
And also because there's so many enemies, like being able to remember like all 5 levels when everything's going to be coming up after, it's like you're going to start to forget.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's
no
hard.
way
It's definitely a very much a marathon sort of game if you want to do it in this way. I mean, I don't know what I guess the community will determine is the coolest or most fun type of speedrun. I could imagine one, I guess any percent, where you're trying to unlock everything without spending the tokens. So the unlock system in the game, for those who don't know, we provide the player with 2 options. So one option is each weapon will have a challenge that you can try to do. Oftentimes those challenges make you prove that you understand a certain mechanic in the game, and that you've mastered that aspect of it to unlock that sort of weapon, which is great. However, what you can also do if you find those challenges too hard is at the end of each run, whether you beat a run or not, you get given a certain amount of tokens, which is like an unlockable currency, and you can actually spend those to bypass the challenge requirements of certain weapons. And so, no matter what, if you play the game, you will at some point be unlocking everything. It didn't die. Oh no, the Ghast again. I believe.
No. I mean, you've basically seen most of Echelon as well. Anyway, we no. It was later stages of Echelon that I was definitely the most worried about, and it's getting to me.
Yeah, it's interesting what people find to be the hardest. For me, definitely Viscera is the hardest, and it's not even the last level. But yeah, people saying Echelon. A lot of people do say Reflection, and I guess that makes sense. That is the last layer that's in the game, level 5. But yeah, I guess it's just down to personal preference or like lack thereof.
It's like having to be consistent for so long, for me, is the part that would actually be the hardest.
Yeah.
So being 9 minutes long, is this.
It's not easy. It is definitely the longest of all the layers.
Like, personally, like there's like one part in
Nice.
there's one part in Reflection the most that like kind of spooks me. It's that aforementioned laser segment. Where there's, I mean, we'll get to it, but it's certainly it's the bit that that terrifies me the most out of Reflection. But kind of typically once I get past that point, it's not smooth sailing. It's certainly smoother sailing than Echelon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Echelon, it just kind of continues and continues and continues, and I mean, we've seen
Nice.
we've seen what's happened here. Is there anything more to read while we kind of get back to minute 8 of Echelon?
All right, send me in. So there are no new donations yet, but as a reminder, we are AusSpeedruns. We are a group doing speedrun events for charity. Raising money for Game on Cancer, which is a charity that raises funds for early career cancer researchers working across all areas of cancer research. So if you would like to donate, you can do so through the donations link, donate.ausspeedruns.com, or in person at the Runner Management Desk, which is just over there to my left. And this also includes Twitch revenue that's raised throughout the event. So things like bits, subs, and all that good stuff, that will also be included as donations there. We're also involved in the Penny Arcade quest. So if you'd like a Speedle pin, which is based on like a tiger beetle, it's the fastest beetle ever, I think. You can also purchase one of those pins at the Runner Management Desk, and all the proceeds from that sale as well do go towards the Cure Cancer Australia. If you would like more details over there, head over to our lovely Runner Management Desk or go to the Penny Arcade website. Back to you, Kenorah.
So that was terrifying. Oh boy.
Ooh. It's those ghasts. So hard.
Kryptonite right there.
Yeah. The demonic round here, this is the one of the traps in the game. I think there are 5 total. They seem to be a bit harmless, like, you know, they just slow you down, but they can really screw you up because all of a sudden, if you're trapped in there for too long, the raids and the spiters, which are the 2, you know, sort of mob enemies here, they can just chunk you down instantly. So you really want to be avoiding that. And now with the gyro blades as well, it's like, all right, you definitely don't want to be going close.
They don't want to be in there.
Nice.
Good old white frames. Ow. This is fine, everything's fine. Wait for that.
It's like,
Yeah, good round blast.
I do like the little jiggle the towers do.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I've been hit.
Yeah. There's all these little cool arm animations. One of my favorite animations is when the Spider 3, like the big spider guys, when they die, they go on their back like a cockroach and like they curl their legs up.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool little thing. And they're annoying to kill as well.
Yeah.
So, like when you see that, it's like, yeah, I killed these guys. I'm pretty cool.
All right, back here.
The Room of Death.
You know, there was a part of me that was like, well, I don't want to make Kill Knight look like it was too easy, and I hope that I've at least sincerely demonstrated just how volatile this game can be in honestly one of the best ways. Like it really gives you that sense of like wanting to continue on and push through it that I felt playing this in preparation for this. It's been a lot of fun to like find those hurdles kind of within yourself, and like whether it be Echelon, apparently, whether it be Viscera, and like once you get past that point, it feels fantastic. It's like the sense of kind of accomplishment that you can give yourself is really what helps make this game feel very worthwhile.
That's good to hear, yeah.
And there's also a lot of replayability. Like, as you said, it's like you can go for time. You can go for points. It's like really just trying to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I wonder if that would create sort of two ways of playing the game, which is, can I beat it as fast as possible, obviously classic speedrun, but also maybe like, can I maximize score?
Yeah.
And it's funny, we've actually seen some of the higher scores on the leaderboard not focus on time at all. And so they're actually, you know, like multiple minutes longer than some of the quicker times. But what they've done is really maximize kind score potential. And so I think what's happening there is they're trying to kite enemies where they can get kind score, like this Pursuer 3. You can see we've got 1700 kind score right now. Kite those alongside other enemies where you can also get kind score off, and then try to like maximize your one use of a Wrath Burst or a Sword Surge, for example, to get them all at once. That could take time, but that might also give you the highest score. So whether, you know, if when the community around this develops, I wonder which of the two paths they'll go down, or both, perhaps.
Well,
or is it just about getting the highest score on the leaderboard, which obviously is a mix of the two? It probably is going to be that one.
Probably.
Good dodging.
So the Arclight's also quite good at one-shotting the strikers, what are they called? The ones that explode?
Oh, the Zekas.
Seekers.
Zekas, yeah.
So they can be quite good at...
Nice. Good kill.
Alright, there we go. That's that hard butt, and I still have my sword burst for when those two trying to eventually come over.
The revenge.
Yeah. I've seen some of the designers in the office this week really maximizing the amount of sword surges they can do.
Yeah.
And so you can't necessarily get away with this on some of the earlier layers. Awesome kill. Very well executed. You can't really necessarily maximize the use of sword surge on the earlier layers, but later on, there are styles of playing which are very much sword focused, so really trying to get the sword active triggers, like we're seeing here, to maximize that meter going up. Because the way it works is the more sword kills you get, the faster the sword meter will charge. And so seeing multiple sword surges on one run is a super good way of getting heaps and heaps of kind of score. And probably also speeding through it, because you know you get a screen wipe at each time. Awesome.
What?
Almost there.
Should we just go to reflection, or should we?
I think so. If you want to check it out, then why not?
We'll just go to reflection.
Yeah.
That's really following me. Anyway.
Here
Now-
we go. So this
now on
is
reflection.
an even harder challenge, reflection. This is the final layer of the game, and this is where every single skill that we've attempted to teach you is going to be put to the test. So good luck, Kenorah.
And straight away, you can see it's like it looks completely different.
Yeah. It has a different vibe, different feel. The enemy spawn patterns are completely different too.
It just feels grungy.
Yeah, it's just like the real depths of the abyss here. This is the final challenge, and it looks the part. I also like how, even though we're throwing, you know, Spiter ones and Wraith ones at you, it's just straight away with like the Pursuer 3s.
Yeah.
The in this case, the Gas 2s, like there's no respite here, there's no break at all.
You just have to do your best to deal with it. So, out of curiosity, why 5 levels?
Why 5? I mean, it's a good number. I think it's also due to like the vision of the game. So we tried to make something that's super concise, super focused, and within that focus, executed to the highest level of polish we could get.
Yeah.
And for us, and the vision that we had, 5 layers was a sweet spot between providing a super high level of quality and enough content.
Yeah.
So. What we're expecting is players aren't, well, I mean, we have never seen this, beating the game on the first try. I mean, theoretically it's possible, but it's the amount of, I guess, skill that goes into being a run.
This is the part that I hate.
This is definitely a super hard part. It's actually one of my favorites when I'm showcasing the game. It's showing this, because it's just like, what? You can do this with lasers? How am I supposed to beat this? But you can see Kenorah expertly dashing through them right now, so yeah, you just need to pick your timing. And also, you can actually use the counters to your benefit here, because you can actually counter them both back to back, and it gives you a bit of iframes to get through the lasers. So there's a bit of tech there. No, you're doing really well.
That honestly, in my opinion, that is the hardest part of reflection. There are some parts that like feel a lot more tense, but like for the most part, I mean, at least under less nerves, I might not get hit as much, but it's the it's the lasers, like getting caught by those lasers at bad spots is a really rough time.
It starts a chain reaction where you start getting hit by others as well, and it's just not a good time at all. Awesome. Yeah, so, and you know, we also have 7 mode, and whilst that's just one extra mode, it's all 5 layers back to back with completely unique spawns. And so in a way that actually creates quite a variation as opposed to just 5, but yeah. Also, I guess there's a bit of symmetry here. We've got 5 of each of the different weapon types. We've got 5 pistols, 5 heavy weapons, 5 swords, 5 armors, and 10 augments, which are small bonuses that you can pick at the start of the run that change the way that some of the mechanics interact with each other.
Yeah, so there's a lot of variability in it.
Yeah, totally, hidden variability. So, you know, when you're playing at home, you might be able to find a different kit to what Kenorah is running that really suits you and your playstyle.
How do I not get hit by any of those, by the way?
Yeah, no, you've done well. Really cool. Yeah, good up there. Awesome.
And so sometimes I even just like the run burst, not because I necessarily might need to like use it, but there's a bit of an interesting tech where you can partially draw in the blood gems using the mechanic designed to charge run burst, and then kind of let go to kind of drag them towards you.
Yeah.
And so, but you can't do that if your run burst is primed and ready.
Yep.
So I will sometimes just send it out just for the sake of being able to use it. My nemesis.
Yeah, get rid of him quick. Yeah, it's interesting to say that because you do want to be maximizing the use of the blood gems on the ground. And if you don't, so if you accidentally run over them, you're going to be adding them to your kill power. And in this case, our kill power is already at max. Yeah. And so whilst it would be good to keep it there, oftentimes a lot of them like go to waste, let's say, if you're not really making sure to manage your rough losses and using them as much as you can. That's pretty tense at the moment. Nice, good recovery there.
Also, I lied. This I don't like this part.
This part's crazy. We've got 2 of the traps interacting here, so you've got like the gyros interacting with the lasers.
I like to just kind of.
And you're trying to see when those lasers come through. And
It's a particularly devious bit of level design, I have to say.
And then we've got these spinners coming out again.
Awesome spin there.
A nice little safety area on the very edge.
Realizing it's best of my ability.
There's a lot of health there. Hey, awesome. So they actually would despawn after some time, so sometimes you get a bit stressed out trying to get to them. And actually it can lead to a lot more deaths. Because you might kill some things on the other side of the stream, right? And then,
Like, it definitely happened earlier.
Yeah, totally. My favorite laser pattern hasn't happened just yet. We're going to see it soonish. And,
is it the 3 or the 4?
I guess we'll see.
Thought it was these guys.
Nah, 4 ghasts at once. No, I mean the laser traps. We'll see something cool. And here's an entire layer of just demonic ground. It's like you're moving slow now and you have no chance.
So it's actually useful if you just learn how to do it earlier. You know, just go in there.
Just play extra hard mode. Give yourself a challenge and learn how to go under demonic ground.
It's this bit here, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I actually oh man, I was screaming. It was crazy.
I actually find this part's honestly, this part doesn't scare me nearly as much as the early part.
Yeah. Why is that?
It's just, like, I think because the other ones move, it can be sometimes like I slightly misjudge or think I have iframes when I don't. Whereas here, I can just kind of stop. Oh, that did parry. And especially, I will try to do if my active triggers line up as best I can. You can do like a standing sword reload with this weapon, and instead of doing the dash forward, it just kind of spins in a spot.
Cool.
Nice little adjustment there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something like, I mean, it's kind of like different beats for different players. Like some things will really not want to agree with certain people. Sometimes things just kind of click. There's, I think especially being an MMO player, that kind of like crisscross pattern I've seen plenty of times before, so my brain doesn't like panic and hesitate. I just kind of, or like panic and make mistakes. I just kind of take my time, know that it will pass, and then I can kind of keep.
Yeah, it's definitely a pattern that relies on the player to panic. Because, but actually it's completely predictable, right? You know exactly what's going to happen. Whereas with those cross lasers, even though again that is also predictable, it's a lot harder to judge it whilst it's moving. It's just that the visual implication of this, like when players first see it the first time, they will freak out.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. What do we do?
Yeah,
where?
what will you do?
And
This part is just hectic.
Yeah. And it's also because like it didn't last that long, so you just stand still for a bit.
Yeah,
and it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in a game that's all about moving quick and getting in your enemy's face, it's similar to the really small room with the moving laser and echelon. It creates a different vibe for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to train your brain to slow down for a second, you know?
Don't move. Don't move. Now we're coming up to Russian warning?
No, well the flash of morning happens when we kill them. When we absolutely definitely kill the only final boss of the game.
Well, it will make sure to have a warning when we get to that point.
Yeah. But we are definitely getting close to said final boss. This is... I might just pop this now. I just didn't have things for the right one of them.
40k carnage. No small score. That's a lot of points right there.
And now my favorite obelisks. I like to kill some of them just because there's already some on screen. I don't need all of them to be on.
Yeah, they shouldn't be multiplicative in this case. Yeah, we give you 4 now. So we went from 2 to 4.
Of course. As you said, you can't make it easier.
No, it has to be harder in all cases.
Come on. Waiting for that. There we go.
Some pulse grab. Ooh.
Hey, when they start to do that.
Oh, nice dodge.
Alright, I'm not entering the final boss as prepared as I would have liked it to be, but that is okay.
So we have 1 enemy left. You can see the counter there. Nice one. But wait, it's not over.
But wait, there's more.
Turn back, wayward knight. Take there, not defied by cosmic wisdom. So the huge overarching plot of the game is that you are Kill Knight, and you are here to kill the last angel.
That is correct. So here we are.
Here is the last angel. I won't be able to probably do the tech I really like to do, which is a sword surge in the beginning of phase 2.
Okay.
It skips easily the worst part of that fight, but I had to do what we could. So if you like bullet hell before,
yeah, here we go. The true bullet hell. Cool bit of trivia. There was a talk this week at one of the game conference meetups, GCAP, and we were talking about our audio designer Yoni was talking about the way that we worked out, or he worked out the sound for the boss projectiles here. Yeah. And he actually got the sound of a whale and pitched that down, and it creates this really like unique like sound.
I can do the tech.
There you go.
Because I was able to get enough executes on the final boss here too. So that is phase 1. Oh, that was that
warning. The flashing warning.
Sorry, I completely got carried away there. So here's phase 2. It likes to begin with this.
Nice.
So when it's sword surge, I then don't have to worry about any of that. And that's that first health bar.
Nicely done. Look at that, absolutely chunking through him.
Yeah. So that's now going to be patched out. It's just too easy.
Yeah. Next hotfix this week coming up. Anti-Kenorah tech.
Please don't. I don't have enough that I thought I did.
Oh.
It's fine. We do have a checkpoint on each of the...
The only checkpoint in the game. The only checkpoint in the game.
But it means I don't have anything for this now. Come on.
Nicely done.
Oh my god.
Well, it's the final
Yeah.
boss for a reason. We weren't going to make it easy.
I haven't died to this thing
true.
since I played casually. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's bad.
And of course, like, try and push this to the limit.
Here
I
we
had
go.
more ammo than I thought.
Yeah.
Less ammo than I thought, so my timing was off. This is the thing about it, especially like when you plan only like when you plan for this game and then it likes to throw curveballs at you. Curveballs that you currently don't have.
Which is why I think maybe going for points is actually easier, because like you're not trying to be on the edge the whole time, get as many kills as quickly as possible, pushing, doing as much damage.
But that hit me?
That's right. So, yeah, I guess that's the case. I guess like with the score aspect of this game, we're really asking you, can you use all the different mechanics at play to, can you really master them? Whereas the speed aspect, while that's also true, you need to be a master of all the skills. It's probably a different like mentality when you're approaching a run. And yeah, as you say, maybe it's like more like, you know, mentally easier after like, you know, such a marathon run that Kenorah is going through to maybe go for the score strat instead. So maybe that's where runs will end up going towards, if that's sort of a thing that requires less stress.
There we are. All right, time for coming up on the final input, which is now.
Woo. Let's go! Nicely done.
Certainly not nearly as well executed as I would have hoped, but here we are.
It's a hard game.
It certainly is.
Yep.
All right.
Another warning now as well for the ending, but
Yeah,
nice job.
I can
Kenorah.
skip this one.
But it's cool. Why would
It
you
is
skip
cool,
it?
but I'm just a little concerned. So that was Kill Night. Thank you everyone for attending, and thank you Ricky and all the rest of Playside for both making and letting us showcase this game. I just wish I did it with less death.
You did very well. Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah. It was awesome. It's like, it's such a great, fun game to play.
Yeah, it really is.
Thanks, guys. Check us out at PAX tomorrow, and you can pick up the game on Steam or your favorite console. Thanks, everyone.
Woo.
Outstanding stuff from Kenorah there. That must be incredibly vindicating for the many, many players that have tried and failed to do as well at Kill Night over at the Playside booth. So with that, that's going to end my time as a host. I'll be switching over to Kenorah, who's going to be hosting. And thanks everyone for rocking up in person and watching at the venue and online and whatnot. Up next, we have Halo ODST by Wingman953. So everyone enjoy that. Everyone's getting set up for that one now. And I am signing off. I'll see you tomorrow, I believe. And yeah, once again, thank you all. Enjoy Halo.
Alrighty, everyone. My name is Kenorah. I will be your host for this next run until the end. We will be sending it through to Halo 3 ODST in just a moment. Take it away.